Hey YouTube, this is OverAnalyze with your host Patrick Rittman, and today I want to talk about side characters. The people who are there just fill space or represent public opinion. In a mystery flick, side character is kind of short for misidentified. In a porno, short for backside. In America, supersized, and in action films, suicide. Let's discuss the suicidal ones, the bad guys, the henchmen. They're more than happy to run into swarms of bullets in the name of their villainous boss, who they have a strange undying loyalty to that most of us can't even share with our closest loved ones.
Good luck. I love you!
Makes you wonder what kind of insurance policy comes with this job. What kind of pension plan do these guys have? And is there someone out there with the full-time job of notifying the families of the dead henchmen that they've died in action? If so, this man must have a more stacked schedule than Santa Claus. I regret to inform you, ma'am, that your husband has died in the noble and admirable efforts of world domination in the name of evil. He did not die in vain. Actually, I think half the time these guys aren't even henchmen at all. They just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like in Indiana Jones, for example. The protagonist's girlfriend is just going trigger happy on a turret. Then out of nowhere, a truck of unsuspecting gentlemen is just driving through, and they all get blasted away by this woman. Not one of them attempted to shoot. Sure, they had guns, but where were they? Syria? Iraq? Everyone had guns. It's like a fashion statement, like a Rolex or Oakley's. I think these guys were just taking out the old truck after doing some engine repairs. You were right, it was the radiator this whole time, and I was about to sell this truck for part. What the hell is that? Did she have a gun? Oh! And we never even knew their names. Do they even have names? What about parents? Do they have parents? You know, in certain movies, you're actually able to figure out the backstory of a side character by overanalyzing the hints and connecting all the dots. Disney is notorious for this. Did you know the mother in Toy Story actually owned the doll Jessie? Just Google it, you'll find out. There's all kinds of these theories. But sometimes, Disney's just as uncompassionate towards their side characters as they are towards their set dressing. So much so that they're the same sometimes. For example, in Beauty and the Beast, our main character is turned into a beast for his inconsiderate actions until he finds love. Now, I understand the moral justification there, but all the maids and butlers that worked in this castle, these guys are now forks and cups and just objects around the house. I mean, their fate hinges on if this furry man-bear gets hitched. I'd be pissed if my life was torn away from me, and the most I have to look forward to now is like a rinse in the sink. And what about the scenes where Beast loses his temper and just starts breaking things around the castle? If almost everything in this castle is alive, doesn't that mean once the curse is lifted, it should be like a bloodbath? This man's been killing maids and butlers for a decade. Love story my ass, he needs to go to jail. And while we're on the topic, they've been cursed for about 10 years before the movie starts. And little teacup named Chip has a personality that is definitely younger than 10 years old.
Why'd you go away?
Was he born a teacup? I mean, does that mean that the teapot is getting more action than the beast? You know, it's been a long decade when your dishes are doing better than you. What if there's a side character that could break the mold, gain dynamic, create their own story outside of their 15 seconds in the background? With that, I'd like to present you a story about a side character, a woman. A woman that sits in an empty house. No pictures, no couches, no furniture or anything. No thoughts even running through her head, and she's done this her whole life. One day there's a knock at the door. She answers the door, and there's a man there whose car is broken down outside. He needs to use her phone, so she leads him to the house to the back, where there's now a phone, new, but oddly familiar. On their way to the phone, they pass family portraits, couches, and new furniture that lines his house. It's not bare anymore. So the man uses the phone and gets in touch with a tire repairman, and he leaves there shortly afterwards, leaving this lady, again, alone in the house. All of these items seem strangely familiar, like they've been there forever. Her favorite being her couch. She loves it. The stitching's perfect, the wrinkles in the brown leather, everything is exactly how it should be. And one day, she starts playing with the phone. The only person she can get in touch with is a man who knows nothing about the outside world except tire repair. They begin this strange childlike relationship where he teaches her everything he knows about tire repair, and all she does is talk about the stitching in her brand new brown couch. One day, she decides she wants to meet him, and so she works up the nerve to walk out of the front door. Lucky for her, there's only one road going from her house, and it goes directly to him. Everybody that she meets along the way is just as clueless as she used to be. She's a spark of curiosity that awakens their consciousness. The name of this story is The Side Character. Our main character, his car broke down, and her curiosity about all the items that have existed since his presence has started a domino effect to all the side characters gaining their own story. Alright YouTubians, if you didn't catch the first episode, check it out, Anti-Heroes, and stay tuned for the third one, Reboots. And if you like our videos, don't let us just become side characters. Send us some love, click the like button, share it, and most of all, don't forget to subscribe.